Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
Hello and welcome to A Muggle's Perspective. A couple of Ant Boys coming to you with the penultimate chapter of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Heyo.
Just a couple of AMP boys.
That's it. Just the two of us for this ep.
Just the two of us.
Yeah.
We can make it if we try. Oh, our dog smells like death, so there's an update for you.
Hannah, come on the pod and tell me about Cooper.
A coop date?
Yeah, give us a coop date. Hannah, coop date.
Would you like to give us a coop date? Which is an update. That's all we have.
He rolled in something dead.
He rolled in something dead. We're hearing. You're hearing it live first.
Wow. What are we thinking? Raccoon, opossum, squirrel? Like
it's
a
more
bird?
than likely a bird.
A bird situation.
Yeah. But
I don't know why I went mammal. Went pretty hard mammal.
Yeah, you did. You leaned all the way mammal.
Coyote, got a dead coyote in the backyard. All right, well, thanks for joining us today. Definitely follow us on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud,
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, Friendster, LinkedIn. Got a big LinkedIn presence.
Yeah, we're pretty professional as far as that goes. So
we're also really good at holding down the same jobs for a long time, and we're not transient. So we're going over chapter 35 of Deathly Hallows, chapter 35, King's Cross. Kind of a big one. I don't know. It's just one of those chapters where not that much happens, It's just kind of a fluff chapter.
yeah, a lot of those towards the end of the book. It's been annoying.
Toward the end of the series. Where are we at? So this, I didn't know where to put this question, but I'll go ahead and put it here. Now that you've read this chapter, does it make sense to you that this is where this chapter is? Like, the information that we get in this chapter, would you have thought, now that you've read it, would you have thought, oh, I could have seen this in the middle of the book, early in the book, 5 chapters ago? I don't know why we're sticking it right here at the very, very end. Or did it make sense to you?
I never really looked at it as if I could have had that chapter anywhere else.
Okay.
Just because most of it, I feel like, fits within that Dumbledore narrative of, like, if I tell you any of this, the whole thing falls apart.
Right. The keeping secrets thing.
Yeah. Bless you. I don't know how you would have fit it in anywhere else. Like, do you have an idea in your head of a good place it could have been?
Well, I'm just thinking that we haven't, like, when's the last time you actually thought about, like, Dumbledore's sister? I mean, you did when we were at Aberforth's house, but that's been a back burner plot line for a while now. And it's like we come back in with that and with, like, Deathly Hallows talk. And I mean, there is some this is how Horcruxes work talk. Love to get that. Love a good Dumbledore explaining Horcruxes. But
sure.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. It kind of struck me and I was like, the content here, like, seems like it's a little out of place, but
yeah, it's a weird chapter in general.
Yeah.
It's like
a one of a kind. I mean, we've never had a chapter like this.
It felt like a prep chapter. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in 36 to kind of wrap things up, but
so it
was like a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're just spoiling my 5th question, which is what's going to happen. So,
yeah. Well, yes, I don't know. So it felt like this chapter was sort of because I don't know. I read, for better or for worse, I read these books and, like, see the movie in my head.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of how, like, I see Daniel Radcliffe, and, you know, I see all these characters throughout my head. Mm-hmm. It's like a head movie.
Yeah.
And this scene was just sort of like so much happens right there that they're going to pack in to the end of the movie, where, you know, people are dying left and right, and it's just a war scene in Hogwarts. And then Harry, like, you have the emotional heft of Harry coming to terms with the fact that he is like the lamb, so to speak. Like, he's got to go and die. So you're kind of like
Snape's childhood montage. Got to hit all that.
Yeah. There's so much there. It's so heavy for, like, I mean, at least in terms of text, for quite a while. Like, there's just, it's all these loose ends that JKR is just sort of like weaving together into one big knot at the end. And so then it felt like this chapter was kind of like, okay, everybody take a deep breath. Let's remember where we are. Let's remember how we got here.
Yeah, that's true. It calls back to like previous books and yeah.
It was kind of like we took a time out. We've got like a minute 30 left in the fourth. And it was our last time out. It was like, all right, guys, like here's where we go from here.
Minute and a half. Would you say we're down 7 with the ball? Is that kind of where we are to Voldemort? Our star player,
worse than that.
Star player just got injured, though.
Yeah, I think we're down 5. I think we're down 2 scores. Yeah.
Who's on the court in crunch time?
from the book?
Yeah. Who do we have out there right now for team good guys?
Are we playing Quidditch? Are we playing basketball?
No, we're playing basketball.
Oh, basketball. Okay. Yeah. Hagrid. We have Hagrid out there.
Done. I don't know. Hagrid might have fell out at this point. Do you think Hagrid's held it together?
If he's there, if he's got any left to give, I don't expect him to run the floor. Like, we're playing a 4-man offense. So it's like, Hagrid, you get every rebound. If you think you can make it back to the other end of the floor for a long possession, you know, we're going to trust you with that. But otherwise, just plant. Just be the tree underneath the basket.
Lane. Yeah, we're running the opposite of a box and one.
Yeah. Like, really, I don't want Hagrid coming farther than half court. Like, he can kind of hang around back there as sort of an outlet pass, but like then I need him to be the first back. Yeah, so
gotta.
And then offensively, we need.
See, in my head,
interesting.
It's one of those situations where, like, Hermione's the point guard.
Hermione's point guard,
but we're at the end of the book, and so like Harry, like LeBron is like, I'm bringing the ball up. Like it's actually going to run through me at this point. I know that I'm not, you know, positionally designated to do that, but like I need to get my touches in. Yeah,
and I like that, but I think if I'm the coach, I'm having Harry bring the ball up the floor, but then I'm running like a quick back screen for Hermione.
Okay.
Like Harry's almost a decoy at this point, so we can get Hermione open for that clean shot.
Yeah. Because Voldemort's never going to expect it.
Yeah, you know Harry's going to draw 2 or 3 defenders if he starts to go to the basket.
For sure.
So we've got. I think we've established we've got Harry, Hermione, and Hagrid out there. I can't imagine Ron is good at basketball in any capacity.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'm going to have him out there.
Yeah, but
I want him on the team. I want him on the bench.
See, I'm thinking if we're doing our best 5 from a basketball standpoint, then that's fine. I was also thinking narratively. I mean, it's the equivalent, you know, it's the equivalent of we're down 5 with the ball. Like who is, you know, who's our 5 that, like, you know, Ron's been around the whole time. Ron knows about the Horcruxes. Like, yeah, you don't want to be relying on Ron, but here you are. Like, Ron's the Richard Jefferson, like late career Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison. I was going to go Andre Iguodala.
Sure. Hagrid is Boogie Cousins recovering from an Achilles tear.
No, Hagrid is just Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah.
Sabonis. He's Domantas Sabonis.
No, he's Arvydas Sabonis.
He's Arvydas Sabonis. Yeah. You're right.
This is really relatable content.
No, Hagrid is Nurkic.
Yeah, Hagrid is Yusuf Nurkic. That's huge.
Yeah.
Harry's Dame. That's good.
Yep. Harry's Dame, and then Hermione is
Let's see if we're locking ourselves into the Blazers here. Hermione is C.J. McCollum, and Ron's Robert Covington. So then I guess they just traded for Norm Powell. We bring Neville in as Norm Powell. I think the metaphor is getting a little sweaty here. Okay. So yeah, we've got this chapter where Harry wakes up. Do you have a good sense of like what's going on? I mean, even like from a macro perspective. At the very end, Harry's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, Dumbledore, was this real?" And he's like, "Kind of." Like in your mind, what's your headcanon? Like, did this really happen? The spirit of Dumbledore visited Harry? Is it like an all in Harry's head kind of, you know, the episode of SpongeBob where he forgets everything that isn't fine dining and breathing? Yeah. So is this a situation where it's like giving us a visualization of what's going on in Harry's brain as he puts the information together?
Yeah, that's how I read it. I read it as, but man, I don't know, because it is like he's supposed to be dead, right? So is it kind of like that out of body experience? Like, have you seen Hot Rod?
I mean, yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
Okay, so that ending scene where Andy Samberg is supposed to be dead, and they're trying to wake him up, and you go into his head, and he's watching a taco and a grilled cheese have a street fight.
Oh, okay.
And they're like hitting each other with chairs and stuff. It's supposed to be like, oh, he's probably having this profound out of body experience where he's like looking at the meaning of life.
Yeah.
And then you go into Andy Samberg's head, and he's watching a mascot taco and grilled cheese fight. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that.
It's more than that's the most direct comparison I think we can draw.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, we're here to get information, to kind of pause and recap. And we sort of touched on this before we recorded, actually. But one of my questions was just like, does what's going on make sense? The information that we get, right? Harry's shooting questions at Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's doing a lot of, you know the answer to that, Harry.
And that's my beef for this episode.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Braden's beef! I the whole time this was happening, where Dumbledore's like Harry's trying to catch up here. Mm-hmm. I was just like, I was thinking to myself, Dumbledore, like, can we cut the games? Like, we're at the end. Let's just lay it all out.
Yeah.
When Harry asks a question, just give him the straight answer. Like, you're both presumably, air quotes, dead. So can we just cut to the chase here? Like, what's actually going on? Why do we have to answer everything in riddles still?
Well, do you think that lends to the idea that this isn't actual Dumbledore, but it is like Harry's mind's perception of Dumbledore, like being brought in as a kind of a plot device for the synthesis of information? Yeah, I
think so.
Because that's how Dumbledore always was, and so that's how he would continue to be, is like vague and answering questions in a broad sense, but not giving helpfully detailed answers.
Right. Yeah, because I guess if this was real, Dumbledore probably would be a little more direct.
Yeah.
So,
because there's no reason, like you said, to hide at this point. So, like, let's get into like the specific things as far as not making sense. Talk to me about there's a blood. Some of it hinges on Harry's blood is in Voldemort, and so that means that Lily's sacrifice lives in Voldemort, which is also Harry. Does that make any sense to you? Did it when you read it?
It would come in and out.
Yeah.
Like it would, I feel like I was catching up, and then it would be like, wait, hold on. And so what I have grasped at this point, when Dumbledore, when Voldemort killed Lily, she sacrificed herself for Harry. And that, like, bravery and love is inside Harry, right?
It's like an ancient magic. Like, sacrificing yourself triggers, like, the kind of magic that isn't spells. It's just, like, the inherent inner workings of magic. And it's like, if you sacrifice yourself for someone, like, let's be real, the next person can't just kill them with magic. Like, she fully, like, not tried to defend herself. She just was like, no, kill me instead. And so it's like this is just how magic works kind of thing. But that's why, like in the first book, Quirrell-Demort's hands and stuff got all burnt touching him because he had this protection on him because his mom sacrificed herself.
So Harry has that, like, indescribable
je ne sais quoi.
Sure. And so then when Voldemort inadvertently made Harry a Horcrux, that meant that a piece of that special love magic, was then a part of Voldemort.
Well, he doesn't get it yet. He doesn't get it until, for 13 more years, until the end of the fourth book, when he puts some of Harry's blood in him, because the magic goes through your blood cells.
Okay, right. So...
yeah, but he did make Harry into a Horcrux on accident that night. That's when he was a baby.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so... he made Harry into a Horcrux, and then he accidentally, like, took on some of this love trait when he used Harry's blood to, like, rebuild his body.
And the chocolate milk.
Yes. And so therefore, if Harry were to sacrifice himself in the same way, which he does at the end of this book, Voldemort would kill the last Horcrux, the piece of his own soul. But Harry could survive because of this special love magic?
Because a little bit of it is still in Voldemort.
So Harry's still living through Voldemort?
Yeah, Voldemort accidentally tethered Harry to life.
Okay, so then if Harry goes back from this dream world that he's in with Dumbledore and finishes Voldemort, then he truly will kill himself and Voldemort.
He wouldn't kill himself because he's still alive. His life... so Voldemort tethered Harry to life, which just prevented him from... he just prevented Harry from dying because he kept a little bit of Harry. He kind of, like, gave Harry a little bit of Horcrux. Like, okay, like, as long as this thing's still here, you can't die. But then Voldemort's death wouldn't mean that Harry would die, because Harry still has plenty of life in his own bones. Blood. In his own blood. So Voldemort dying doesn't mean that Harry dies. But Harry dying also doesn't mean that Harry dies. As long as Voldemort's still alive. But if Voldemort dies, and then Harry dies, then Harry's going to die.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to... we don't have to be like, okay, got it, it makes sense. Like, that's just where we are, is that it doesn't totally make sense. It's a lot.
The bottom line is, if he goes back now, wakes up basically, and is able to defeat Voldemort, Voldemort's defeated for good.
Yes.
And Harry won't die.
Correct. As long as all of his Horcruxes are defeated. And as far as we know, there is at least one Horcrux still out there because of the snake.
So we don't trust that Neville has killed Nagini.
I mean, you think he's killed Nagini off page, like while Harry's been laying on the
Harry
floor?
told him to.
Yeah, but Nagini is with Voldemort right now. So Neville followed Harry out of the castle, picks up the cloak when Harry drops it.
No, he grew a viney trap plant.
Okay.
That he knew Nagini would slither into.
Nice.
That would then choke Nagini to death.
He put some
kind
Nagini
of like
bait in it.
Python the python.
Yeah, he Chinese finger trapped it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as that happens, and then when Voldemort is killed, then Voldemort will be dead, and that'll be good, and we'll be happy about it.
Okay. So it's kind of like we got this miracle happy ending potential that we were complaining about in the last 2 episodes.
Because we were annoyed that Harry was dying.
We were annoyed that Harry was dying and that was the only option.
Yeah.
And that Voldemort, or then that Dumbledore didn't explore more options. But now it's like, but hey, there's this super mind-bending, confusing option that you didn't consider.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, that's what's happening.
And Harry's like, did you know that this was going to happen? And he's like, I mean, like I guessed. I had my Dumble hunch.
Yeah. So did Dumbledore, he knew the whole time.
Well, he was rolling the dice a little bit. I mean, maybe he's 80% sure that Harry wasn't going to die, but that still means he's 20% chance he is going to die.
Crazy.
Yeah. Don't worry. We also need to figure out what's going on with Harry's wand. Did this make any sense to you?
No, this part made no sense.
Okay, let's read it.
I'm not even going to try to pretend to understand that.
Let's read it. Okay. So we're on page 711. Okay, we'll start at the bottom of 710. Without meaning to, as you now know, Lord Voldemort doubled the bond between you when he returned to human form. A part of his soul was still attached to yours, and, thinking to strengthen himself, he took a part of your mother's sacrifice into himself. If only he could have understood the precise and terrible power of that sacrifice, he would not, perhaps, have dared to touch your blood, but then if he had been able to understand he could not be Lord Voldemort, and might never have murdered at all. Having ensured this twofold connection, having wrapped your destinies together more securely than ever 2 wizards were joined in history, Voldemort proceeded to attack you with a wand that shared a core with yours. And now something very strange happened, as we know. The core, so that's at the end of the 4th book when their wands, like E.T. touched, and like Harry's parents came out of it. He was more afraid than you were that night. You had accepted, even embraced the possibility of death. Blah, blah, blah. I believe that your wand imbibed some of the power and qualities of Voldemort's wand that night, which is to say it contained a little of Voldemort himself. So Dumbledore's theory is that Harry's wand talked to Voldemort's wand while this was happening and like picked up some tricks about Voldemort that it could use in case of emergency if Voldemort attacked him again. So your wand recognized him when he pursued you, recognized a man who was both kin and mortal enemy, and it regurgitated some of his own magic against him, magic much more powerful than anything Lucius's wand had ever performed. Does that make sense?
So it's an adaptive wand.
Yeah, it was able to adapt because the bond between Voldemort and Harry is so uniquely close. Like they have all of these factors that like bring them together. Like the wands happen to share a core, which is really rare, and they made each other Horcruxes on accident. And the prophecy is about, he marked Harry as being the person the prophecy was about. So like, any 2 wands when they attack each other don't just always do this, but this wand basically saw itself in the mirror with the whole core, like twin cores thing. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, I kind of get it. I don't think I have to get it.
And because what's really fun about the fact that you don't have to get it is that neither of them is currently using the wands in question. Like Harry's using Draco's wand.
Yeah. I think that's where I get lost. It's kind of like why are we talking about that right now anyways?
It's just because it was a magic event that Harry didn't understand, and he was like, Dumbledore, explain it to me.
Yeah.
So where are we? So after hearing about Dumbledore's past, how he felt about the whole Deathly Hallows thing, he kind of apologizes for the Grindelwald childhood involvement. Where do we stand on blaming Dumbledore? I mean, a couple episodes ago, we were all gung-ho to be like, Dumbledore, you made all these mistakes, could have handled this so much better. Do we feel more sympathetic? I mean, now we've seen him, he breaks down crying, talking about the Hallows, talking about his daughter dying, or his sister, his daughter. Do we feel some more sympathy for him? Are we still just annoyed with him?
I think it's hard to read it and not have some sympathy. I think he was power hungry and kind of reckless.
And 17.
Yeah. So it's perspective. I think we can trust him because he's able to admit his failure, and he didn't let that period of time where he was obsessed with power, I guess, that he didn't let it become all consuming.
Yeah, he seems to have good self-reflection about it. I mean, he says that he turned down the post of Minister of Magic several times because he's like, I know I can't handle that.
Yeah, so I think we can trust that he has learned from his mistakes, and he does have Harry's best interest and the wizarding world's best interest in mind, and he's about the greater good. He's just a little reckless and kind of a gambler at times.
Do you think that persists? I mean, we're talking about the 80-20, I think you're not going to die here, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, he is somebody who has a ton of confidence and trusts in his own judgment and his own magical ability.
Right.
And he should.
Yeah, born out of a series of, hundreds of consecutive successes, right?
Sure. It's just there's always such a fine line between confidence and arrogance,
Sure.
Foolish pride.
Yeah.
And I don't think Dumbledore's a prideful fool, but I think he has tiptoed that line at times, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't hate Dumbledore. I'm not I think the chapter where we learn about how he's kind of been leading Harry along the whole time to be the sacrifice. There's so much shock factor with that I think it's the chapter is written in a way to kind of have you react. It's almost like she, JKR takes that piece of the story and just throws it against the wall and is like, what now? Here it is. What do you think? It's you're kind of forced to just decide if you trust Dumbledore or not. And there's so many questions and so much
a lot of rises
emotion
from it.
Yeah, a lot of emotion wrapped up in that revelation. So I think in the moment it's really easy to get judgmental of Dumbledore really quickly, and then having the rest of the story unfold. It doesn't make it an easier pill to swallow, like what he ultimately did, but
it lends some perspective, at least.
It lends perspective, and I think it restores some of the trust that we had built over the course of these books.
Because, yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, there were times when we trusted Dumbledore so implicitly. I remember at the end of, like, the third book, whatever, you'd be like, well, it's fine because Dumbledore's just going to write in, flying on eagles, y'all, on eagles, and save the day. So,
yeah.
Snuckle, remember the Titans quote in there.
On eagles, y'all.
On eagles, y'all. Amen. See, that's what I've been saying. Amen. Anyway. So yeah, then I did a section. I did a little Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows quotes. Pulled out some quotes from this chapter I thought kind of liked. So we don't have to linger on them too long, but if you have any thoughts about them, you're welcome to share them. Page 713, Dumbledore says, I have known for some time now that you are the better man, talking to Harry. And he says a couple things like that, calls him a brave, brave man, talks about Harry being selfless. So I just think that's kind of nice. Because if this is Harry, all in Harry's head, then that's pretty bold. As he's like, and then Dumbledore would probably tell me about how cool I am, and I'm a really good guy.
And then we'd probably get matching tattoos, and I would have a beard, and
he would have a scar.
We would have some butterbeer together, and he would ultimately be my dad.
1,000 points to Gryffindor. And Ginny would be there.
We better cut it off there.
Yikes.
To me, the more heavy quote from 713, Hal quote, is Dumbledore turned his whole body to face Harry, and tears still sparkled in the brilliantly blue eyes. Master of Death, Harry, Master of Death, was I better, ultimately, than Voldemort?
And Harry's like, yeah, I mean, Voldemort's a genocidal maniac.
But, and yes, Harry's right, obviously, but yeah, I think reading that, it was kind of like anybody can get addicted to like that kind of like power and that pursuit,
Yeah. I mean, we've all been a little kid, like wishing we had a treasure map, that was going to lead us to a chest full of gold and like, all of the fun stuff that would await from that.
Yeah. So it was just weird to have like Voldemort and Dumbledore kind of put on the same stage there and kind of like paralleled in a way. And I mean, again, like perspective, you get to see Dumbledore, how he didn't let it consume him, and he's able to get out of that mindset and reflect and like ultimately become more selfless because of it. And then you see the opposite end of the spectrum where Voldemort just it eats him alive.
Yeah, and Dumbledore would probably say, a lot of that is the result of him having, he grew up with parents that he knew loved him, and he had a brother. And like felt that familial bond, and whereas Voldemort, he's consumed with this desire for power, but also like, I'm sure frustration and jealousy about all these other people that grew up with families that loved them, and he's obsessed with his parentage and the Gaunts and all that stuff. So,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like this little subtle comparison here at the end has a whole commentary text in the background on just like social circumstances and just general upbringing.
Yeah.
And
class
the
struggle.
human class struggle, the human
orphan,
propensity. Yeah, exactly. I think there's elements of like just the human I don't know how to say it, like Voldemort and Dumbledore, two opposite, like good and evil, right? Mm-hmm. Two opposite ends of the spectrum, one's a hero, one's a villain, but it almost puts them in like, they were both 17 and both reckless and both in pursuit of like power and I don't know, like very self-focused, right? And then like one went the other way and one kept going down that path. And
yeah, they're at polar opposites, but you see the paths, like the steps along the way that they took to get there. You know, it's not just Voldemort's just been this big bad like incarnation of evil, like a Sauron or something like that. But we saw him, and we've seen the flashbacks. Like we saw 16-year-old ghost diary version of him, like he was a person, you know, just like Dumbledore. Okay, page 718, up near the top, Dumbledore says, "It is a curious thing, Harry, but perhaps those who are best suited to power are those who have never sought it. Those, like you, have leadership thrust upon them, and take up the mantle because they must, and find to their own surprise that they wear it well." So it's just kind of one of those. I mean, you hear quotes like that talking about leadership. You know, the people that want to jump up and say, yeah, I'm the leader, are like not necessarily actually the best suited to lead.
I think we've gotten a masterclass on that. That's pretty relevant.
Yeah.
For a long time, really.
Oh yeah.
Just in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been kind of curious about that quote because like I think about like numerous presidents that like would corroborate what Dumbledore's saying, right? Like you really wanted to be the leader and you are not the leader. You're not a good leader.
Yeah.
But then you think about people like Michael Jordan, who's like, no, I want the ball. I am the guy. Mm-hmm. And then he kills it, right? Mm-hmm. So I've always kind of like, I don't know if that's a blanket truth.
Well, I mean, I think there's a difference between leading people and, you know, successfully scoring. Like, you know, Michael Jordan, like the leadership things that he did, I would think would be like his interactions with his teammates, you know, his like work ethic, like those kinds of things, which like all the stories you hear are that like he was a crazy person and like punched them in the face and like drove some of them away, you know, made Kwame Brown like almost quit the league, like, you know, destroyed his comp, like those kinds of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're talking about like on the court, like taking control of a situation. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting quote. And I agree with it when I read it, but I always like think of different situations where like somebody did step up and raise their hand and say like, I want this. And you're like thankful they did. But it's probably more frequent the other way around, like what Dumbledore's describing. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, what he says is have leadership thrust upon them. And like in how many scenarios is that like actually going to happen? You know, we think of, you know, from the American context, it's all about, and, you know, many other countries around the world, the democracy thing and running for a position and, you know, you have to volunteer for those things. Versus I think what Dumbledore's talking about is kind of just like, you know, being the natural leader of a group. You know, in every friend group growing up, like there's you're never like, okay, which one of us is going to be like the leader who kind of like everyone sort of looks to, like it just sort of happens. You know what I mean? Have you, I'm sure you have, it's like whatever freshman in high school reads, but did you read Lord of the Flies in high school?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember we did a whole thing on this, freshman year where it was, cause there's, it's not Ralphie, it's Jack is one of them. There's like the two groups of boys that end up splitting off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like the one who like thinks of himself as the leader and like tells people what to do and stuff, but like he's not actually right. And like there's another boy that has kind of more of like a quiet, just like make people like the younger kids gravitate towards him more sort of thing. And it's like he's not the one that's stepping up. He's like, nope, we're going to do my plan. But like he really should be. You know what I mean? That's kind of the example that I always think of. What is it? It's Jack and what's the other kid from Lord of the Flies? Ralphie's Piggy's the one, the nerd one.
It's been so long. I'm not gonna be able to help you.
Piggy's the asthmatic one. It's
Piggy's
Jack
the
and
one
Ralph.
that says
Sucks to your auntie, yeah.
Yeah, sucks to your asthma. Yeah.
Asthma, yeah. Jack and Ralph, but I don't remember which one is the actual. I want to say Jack is the... Okay. So Ralph is the... this is the sparknotes.com/Lord of the Flies. Ralph attempts to coordinate the boys' efforts to build a miniature civilization so that they can be rescued. Jack is the one that's like, pigs, let's go after the pigs. He's the antagonist. Becomes the leader of the hunters, longs for total power, becomes increasingly wild and barbaric. So, anyway, page 720. Oh, this was the fun one. We said before we recorded, there's not a lot of like moments of levity or comedy in these chapters, but I thought that you might think this was funny. Let's see. So Dumbledore says, but the cloak I took out of vain curiosity, so it could never have worked for me as it works for you, its true owner. And that just made me think of freaking Harry using the cloak and like how bad he is at it. Like we've been complaining for 7 books about like how he doesn't use the cloak enough and he's leaving it places and he should be, using it way more strategically and way more often. And Dumbledore's like, yeah, I could never have used the cloak as well as you do, the cloak master.
I would never be able to keep track of it and to be able to use it to its fullest potential. But thank God you have been able to, Harry, because you are the true owner.
Yeah. We got to someone who has just really done a great job of cloaking over the last 6 years.
Yeah. I haven't had the opportunity to tell you, Harry, how proud I am of you, of just the cloak, just the skills with which you have used.
Yeah.
Just with the cloak, it's just been amazing
to sit back and watch. Taking full advantage of this amazing magical artifact.
Yeah.
Squeezed every drop of usefulness you could out of that cloak.
In fact, Harry, do you have it with you right now? Where is it?
Harry doesn't even have glasses on right now. He's a mess at King's Cross.
That's true.
722. This one might actually be a discussion one. Dumbledore's like, oh, so we're in King's Cross. You'd be able to, like, I don't know, board a train. And Harry says, and where would it take me? And Dumbledore says, on. So what do you think? What do you think that means? What does that imply about this whole scene? Could Harry have chosen to go on, and then what would that entail?
To me, this lends itself to the whole out-of-body experience where, like, Harry's unconscious.
Check.
And this is supposed to be, like, his sort of come to Jesus moment where he gets caught up to speed, and then it's like, okay, so you can either wake up or you can die. That's the way I read it. Mm-hmm.
And so die.
It's like you can.
Is he saying that when you go on is like heaven?
Heaven. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
I guess. I've got one last one. It's kind of the same deal. Tell me one last thing. Is this real or has this been happening inside my head? Dumbledore says, of course it is happening inside your head, Harry. But why on earth should that mean that it is not real? So what does that mean?
It is real that he's acquiring this information. It is real that he has to sort of make a decision on whether he comes to and like attempts to defeat Voldemort for once and for all. But it is in his head. This isn't actually happening. But it's real.
How could something not actually be happening but be real? That's wild.
I don't know. I assume that this kind of thing it's like, I feel like it goes into like the psychedelics questions, right? Like that's what everybody's talking about right now. Like those those experiences, are those real? Are they not? I mean, they feel pretty real for the people that go through them.
Man, I'm having the wrong conversations. Apparently, I need to get in on, because I don't know what you're talking about. But
I feel like I don't know. Do you ever listen to Tim Ferriss?
I don't know who that is.
Tim Ferriss show. Yeah, this is probably a conversation for off the pod, but there's a lot of people are really curious, and there's a lot of research being done on psychedelics and like DMT and psilocybin and stuff like that. I am not saying this because I am particularly interested. Even if like they came out tomorrow, they're like, hey, they're super safe and you should use them because they have X, Y, and Z benefits, I would be like, I'm pretty good. Like I like my life on stable ground where it is. But there are people out there that are like, no, this is there's a whole nother world out there that like our brains haven't experienced. And
like an Inception situation.
Yeah. And so maybe that's what's happening. Maybe Harry ate mushrooms.
In like he was like fifth book.
He was so scared. He was so scared to have to go and sacrifice himself. He was like, I need to get high before I do this.
He's got to fit a lot of experiences in, you know, for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So this talking to Dumbledore right now is just a trip. He's tripping right now.
And so he's actually standing in front of like a gargoyle. Or
a tree.
Yeah.
It's actually just Grop. He's talking to Grop.
Yeah. Grop's making those whining noises from the fetus Voldemort. Did you have any thoughts on? We didn't talk about at all the like baby whimpering Voldemort soul piece that Harry keeps being like, should we? Do you think it's like hungry or?
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize. It felt like it was being implied that it was Voldemort, but did it explicitly say that? I may have missed it.
No, Harry just keeps being like, should we? And the Dumbledore says, no, we should not. Like, there's no like explicit explanation.
Why is he a baby?
Well, the implication is that just it's, you know, Voldemort has split his soul so many times that instead of being like a full-size person, it's like this is how much is left, like a mutilated, tiny kind of bastardization version of his soul.
So is this does that piece sort of imply that Harry is, you know, if you're going to argue that this is real, that Harry is talking to Dumbledore and Voldemort, not talking to Voldemort, Voldemort's there. This is some kind of like purgatory of sorts. Like,
yeah, that's definitely, that's what I was just thinking. Cause I mean, I don't know. He's there. Like, this is what happens when two people in this extremely unique, probably literally unique situation both get knocked out at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that confirms the whole, like, Dumbledore saying, you know, you would go on, just on. Like, it's like you're in this little middle rest stop between going back to life or on to whatever's next for you. So yeah, I don't know if this is JKR's like little like sort of goofy purgatory piece that she wrote in at the end. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of up to the interpretation of the reader, kind of thing. So yeah, I was just going to ask what's going to happen. We've sort of already touched on it. Neville's going to kill the snake somehow.
I do think Neville's going to help kill Nagini somehow.
Okay.
And it will involve plants. And I do think that Harry, Ron, and Hermione together will kill Voldemort.
All right. And then we'll live happily ever after.
I don't know. Like, I don't know that, like, it seems too easy because I'm conflicted because if you'd asked me like 2 books ago, like how this is going to end, I'd be like, yeah, Harry's going to kill Voldemort. It's all going to be the happy ending because it's a kid's book. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have Harry getting stabbed in the final scene.
And
right?
then you read the last 2 books and you're like, these aren't like super kids. They're young adult, teen novels now.
Yeah. And then it got dark. It got dark pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of torn. Like, I don't know, JKR could, not take the easy way out and write in some sort of like Harry dies in the act of defeating Voldemort. Mm-hmm. Now they both die, or did we determine that can't happen? I'm still confused.
No, it could. It could. What if Voldemort has Hermione like knife to her neck, kind of like body shield, and Harry's like, "Sorry, Hermione, gotta do what you gotta do. If I gotta go through you, I gotta go through you." Because she'd be like, "Do it, do it."
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be like a clean, like, and then Harry woke up and he marched back into the castle and stabbed Voldemort in the chest, and then he picked Nagini up and broke her over his knee. And ripped her in half.
Ginny dove into his arms, and they embraced lovingly.
Yeah. And then we fast forward to them living on a nice house on a hill, and there's Harry and Ginny kids running around. And
Harry Potter Day is celebrated every July 31st with a parade, and Harry is King Harry.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be that clean. I think we'll lose another life.
Okay.
Or 2.
Somebody.
Maybe Neville dies. Maybe Neville sacrifices himself.
By diving into Nagini.
Yeah, it's like a Jonah and the whale type situation. Like, he kills Nagini from the inside.
But he dies in the process. But I was like, in that someone is inside an animal, it is like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those references. I walked in and realized I don't know what I'm doing here, but the door was locked. So
Neville's like, there's only one way. And so Nagini chokes on him, but then like he, suffocates because he's inside a snake.
Yeah.
/ like snake acid. So
this seems pretty obviously the way it will happen. So
I don't know how you could refute it.
Yeah.
I came up with a segment that we could do called Did We Care? Sort of a look back on Do We Cares. Did you come up with any particular highlights or lowlights in the last 2 hours since I texted you about it? Any particular Do We Cares to look back on? Like, man, I should have cared about that more. Anything that snuck up on you?
Ooh, using Harry's blood to recreate Voldemort's body. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a big scene, and you knew it was important, but that was a detail that seemed like, wait a minute, why does he need Harry's? And, I should have probably been more in tune to, like, the kind of bond that would create.
That could mean something. And I think, I don't have the 4th book in front of me, but when Harry is telling Dumbledore and Sirius about everything that happened in the graveyard, when Harry says, and then he used my blood, it says that like there was a twinkle in Dumbledore's eye. And so that's like a 3-book.
Oh, it does?
It's like a long-term kind of clue.
Oh.
Or Dumbledore was like, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. We sort of already did the Snape thing. I mean, that was one of the big long-term do we cares was like, where do we side? Where do we stand on Snape, good or bad?
Yeah, and I don't think we got the real closure that at least I was looking for.
You don't? I mean, turns out Snape with the dough, Snape took Harry the sword, Dumbledore trusted Snape the whole time.
Yeah, it's just weird though because like Snape still like really hated Harry. I do feel like he truly did hate Harry.
For sure.
So it's almost like I can't fully trust him.
You can't give him full credit for what he did.
And I don't know what to do with the conversations that like we had. I forget which book it was where he's talking to Bellatrix and Narcissa.
At the beginning of the 6th book, yeah.
Yeah. Those just seemed so real and so genuine.
Maybe Snape was on shrooms.
Could be. This whole series might just be like a big acid trip.
Oh, that's a real theory, is that the whole thing, like the first 2 chapters of Harry living under the Dursleys' stairs is the only thing that's real. And like it's just him inventing like a fantastical life for himself. Like, oh man, and turns out I'm the most important kid in the whole wizarding world, and I'm really strong, but it's my love of my parents. And yeah, it's kind of like the theory that in Rugrats, like that none of the babies are real, and it's just like Angelica is like hallucinating them because she like it was like there's a traumatic accident. You've never heard this?
No.
This is a whole thing, like sad alternate explanations of children's content.
Is there a more recent one? Like something
like a show that I've seen before?
No. Like I watched Rugrats.
Is there an iCarly version of this? Yeah. Or Dog with a Blog? Do we have a Dog with a Blog?
It probably is iCarly, because it's all iCarly and her brother, and none of them are real. It's all Freddy's imagination because he has no friends, and he's just imagining that he has these friends that he videotapes.
The girl across the hall that she's the most popular girl of them all, and she likes me the most.
And my whole job every day after school is to just watch her through a camera lens, because that's not creepy. She doesn't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird.
Yeah, that's what friends do. Wow. I was trying to write down long-term do we cares. The only thing I put down was Neville. I mean, that's been a constant, the whole Quad Squad thing started in book 1. And then I feel like you felt like it under-delivered. We get to book 4 and 5, and it's like every Neville mention is like, and then Neville tripped down the stairs and broke all the floors. And you're like, man, Neville just has not stepped up yet. But by now, he kind of has.
And I thought for a long time Neville was going to be the like Benedict Arnold character at the end.
Not to be confused with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right. There is no Benedict Cumberbatch character in this series, which is a freaking huge drop of the ball.
Not that you've seen yet.
Well, okay, in the Fantastic Beasts or whatever, like he's in that, right?
He's not, no.
He's no. Okay. Nope. Thinking of Jude Law. Not the same person.
You are, yeah. The first Fantastic Beasts movie is only like one British person, because it's set in America. So, spoiler alert. It's a whole thing, dude. So we haven't talked about this, like if you're going to want to do the whole Fantastic Beasts thing, like watch the movies or whatever, but like there's like a American Ministry of Magic, and they call Muggles no-mages for like no magic, and like that right there, it's tough to get past that. They have their own Hogwarts. It's called Ilvermorny. There's a lot. It's a lot.
Why
Why is it set there? Why do they call them no-mages?
Yeah, why to all those things you just said?
It's fair. A lot of fair questions. I am not the world's #1 Fantastic Beasts scholar. We don't own the second movie of it. I mean, I've seen it like twice. I've not read, every single bit of backstory. It's just different with not being based on a book and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that. That's probably once we're to the point where I'm talking about no matches. About ready to bust out the outro theme. We want to shout out Hannah and Cooper, holding it down on the 1s and 2s. Cooper smelling like death.
Probably going to be a bath in his future tonight.
Yeah. How floofy is he going to be after that bath?
Not at all. We had to cut all his hair off.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you go with like the $7 bottle of like oatmeal-based dog shampoo, or like the $1.50 bottle of like shampoo?
If there was a product called shampoo, I would probably just buy that. But no, right now, ashamedly, I think we do have like the Burt's Bees, like dog shampoo.
I can see that.
Yeah, pretty bougie.
Yeah, we do similar kinds of stuff. I mean, we just get it from Petco or whatever. But we give George baths in home. I'm guessing much less often than Cooper has to be bathed. From the stories that I've heard.
We don't do it enough.
Well, I mean, every story about Cooper is like, and he came in and 50% of him was caked in mud. And the other 50% was him being bathed in the blood of the heathens from the animals he was attacking. So you just hose him off?
No, if it's manageable, Hannah has like these pet wipes that
nice,
like are basically just like soap rags that come in a bottle, and you can like get a lot of it cleaned off with that. But tonight's not going to be one of those nights. It's going to be a tub night. Yeah,
see, George is a little big for us to have ever gotten into those. That's where Cooper being a little smaller kind of helps, I think. You can use a whole bucket of the pet wipes to get George clean.
Yeah. You need a pet towel for George.
Yeah. He's a big boy. Well, George is excited to meet Cooper. We're going to get together and watch the 8th movie, but not until we've read the last chapter. I think we'll go ahead. I might have to get at you. I'm not sure if we're going to do a live read or we're just going to do a normal read. We'll have to talk to Rachel, convene the minds, see what Hannah thinks. Kind of get some input. But yeah, join us next time for the final chapter of the Harry Potter series. It'll be good. Good stuff.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.